Hi everyone, I am so excited to share that I got to present today to the Lighthouse Sobriety Community. That is a community that was founded by Jen Hirst. And the community is for women who are committed to getting sober using 6 daily habits. It's a community where there's a paid membership, but there's lots of meetings, there's lots of opportunities to get support. There's a book club, there's recipes, workout tips, things like that. So a wonderful, wonderful community. I met Jen at the Sober in the City last month that took place in Scottsdale, Arizona, and she actually presented a great workshop on Instagram and just great tips for how to be successful on Instagram, because she has a wonderful following herself and she's been working really hard on her page. And she listened to my talk that I co-led with the wonderful Susan Larkin, my fellow friend and great area drinking coach. Our workshop, we called it Your Ultimate Sober Superpower, Emotional Sobriety. So she loved it so much, and a lot of her members have been talking to her about how much they enjoyed it. So she said, Kristen, why don't you come and present it to my community and share it with my group? And I thought, oh my God, I am honored. I am so excited. So today was the big day. Today's workshop was inspired from that original workshop that's over in the city that I did with Susan, but I did make some changes, and I actually created a whole PowerPoint to go with it. And part of that was I actually shared a lot of my story. I showed them some of my before pictures of when I was drinking, and they were pretty much in disbelief. They just couldn't wrap their head around the pictures they were seeing, and they could not associate those pictures with being me, which I've been getting that a lot actually, but that's great. So that's a good sign. That means sobriety has been agreeing with me these past 4.5 years. I truly enjoyed being able to share not just my story, but I talked about gray area drinking. I talked about the nervous system. I got to share a lot of neuroscience. Got to talk about the brain, the logical brain versus the animal brain. I talked about Dan Siegel's brain model of using the hand, which is one of my absolute favorite ways to talk about the brain. And then I walked them through real practical techniques for self-regulation. So we got to do techniques together, and that involved breathing and grounding, just ways to get their nervous system nice and regulated. And what I love about this work, because I have such a focus on physiology, the body, and experience versus just cognitive and theory and thinking. They got to actually try the techniques right there in live time. And then they are techniques now that they can take with them, and they can practice on a daily basis. And then by practicing those skills, it just forms a habit, forms a new neural pathway in their brain. And then this way, when they encounter situations that are stressful, that cause dysregulation, they are prepared, because they know that, okay, when I'm dysregulated, I know I can do some grounding and breathing techniques and, lots of different tools like that. So it was just really, truly an honor to share. What a great group of women that I got to just be in front of today. I also want to shout out Jen's gorgeous journal that she created. I mean, look at this. Not only is it pretty, it feels amazing, just feeling it. I love holding it in my hands. I like that there's a spot for your pen, like my pen right here that's got my favorite phrase, "Sunset's the new happy hour." She created this as a guide to help you get through 100 days alcohol free. But this is also a great journal, even if you're not on any kind of sobriety journey. If you just have one goal that you want to implement in the next 100 days, it's also really, really great for that. Let's say you want to start meditating. She has you get really specific. Instead of just saying, well, I want to become a meditator, you could write your goal and say, I want to meditate for 10 minutes every day for the next 100 days, for example. Or maybe you have a goal around weight loss or something like that. So it's such a beautiful journal inside. There's lots of great, spaces here. There's, spots for gratitude, brain dumping, a lot of blank space that you can do with whatever you like. And another neat thing is that she's got a lot of great tips along the way. So if you are on the sobriety journey, I liked the whole tips aspect there. That's really nice. So I just wanted to shout it out because I love it. I love a good journal, and this one is just amazing. So I just want to thank you all, as usual, for taking this journey with me. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And, you know, if there's any way I can support you, if you have a community and you would like me to come and speak and talk about the nervous system and share real practical tips on how to get regulated, I would love to come on in. So, you know, please send me a message. And let me know how I can support you in other ways. I've got my website, I've got my blogs, I've got events listed on my website, and lots of great resources for families too. So lots of great stuff going on. So again, thank you. And as always, I want you to know I am rooting for you, and hope you have a great rest of your day.